think we've got a good enough crowd here. This is being recorded. All right, so everybody, welcome. Thank you. Those of you coming from Be My Neighbor, we're moving you guys from a weekly all hands to a monthly. So I hope you're excited about that. GTG, we moved from Thursday to Wednesday, still just doing once a month. I wanted to share something with you guys because I know there's a lot of new faces, a lot of kind of moving around, who's doing what, and there's still going to be those questions. I want to share real quick just a small org chart so that you guys have a little bit better idea. By the way, I'm Glenn. Those of you that don't know me yet, I was the owner of GTG Financial. So as we have this merger that's going to occur later this summer, can you guys see my screen? By the way, I lost you guys. Okay. This is going to essentially be the layout, and already what is kind of in place at this point as the executive teams have already started to merge. So Chris is going to maintain the CEO position. I'm going to be heading up the COO position. Isabel, which I think she's on an 11-hour flight right now on a plane, is going to be the chief loan officer with Jessica assisting her. Nathan is going to be handling compliance. I need to update this, and special projects, if you want to call it that. He's also going to be our liaison between us and Realpha for compliance, marketing, things of that nature that's still getting hammered out right now. GTG, you all know Sergio and Mark. They're essentially doing the exact same thing they were doing already, just in an expanded fashion from that standpoint. And then Cameron, he's from Be My Neighbor, is Eric's just gone through this process, but I'm calling him the NMLS czar. He is in charge of everything NMLS wise. And I don't know, Cameron, are you on this call or you're at
he's on his anniversary vacation.
That's right. He's in New York or something on anniversary. So just wanted to give that quick breakdown. Again, this is being recorded. If you guys ever have any questions of like, who the heck am I supposed to go to for X? We're all still just kind of this amoeba right now of two companies. Hold on, I had my itinerary up. Let me pull it back up here. Got a lot to cover here today. Otherwise, Chris, are you on here?
I'm ringing him real quick. 1 second.
Okay, Nathan's here. Jessica's here. Mark and Serge, you're of course here. Say hi. Unmute yourself.
Hey there. Unmuting would help as well. Hello.
Yeah, there's Serge. Okay. All here to help. All right, I'm gonna start running through like the normal itinerary of stuff. We'll open it up to questions when if you have anything critical, especially Tim's watching the market like a hawk with whatever Daddy Pow Pow's coming out with in his news conference. We'll see if the market shift here. But first of all, I want to go over February top producers. And we're keeping them separate still for both companies. But for February, we had Elise, Stephanie, and Eric. Well, I don't know if any of them are on this call for GTG Financial. Mom, are you here? Congrats
I'm
to the
here.
top producer.
Yay!
Great job.
Back in the saddle, baby.
Yeah, now you got to follow it up. Okay.
I'm done for the year.
All right. Yeah. Oh, good. And for Be My Neighbor, we have Brett, Cameron, and Latrina. So congrats, you guys. That is awesome. Those are again our February numbers. I am woefully behind on our normal graphic that we put out, but this will be part of the deal that we're going to be creating separate top producer graphics. So that's great. All right. I am going to move right into the meat of everything, which is going to be lender updates, product spotlight type stuff. You guys have probably seen a couple different movements with AEs. I just wanted to clarify what all is going on there. But before that, we had a great meeting in Atlanta. I think that was 2 weeks ago now. A big chunk of the Be My Neighbor crew was out there. We had 5 of us from GTG Financial learning about EPM, getting to know the Be My Neighbor folks. It was a really good meeting. EPM, and Jessica, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this is for all loans or just VA, but they have a 25 basis point incentive that is not being reflected in any pricing engines, you have to ask Carrie Cole, the AE, and that's a change I'll cover in a second, for her to add it either at the time of locking or after the lock. Okay, is that conventional only, or is that VA only, or is that all loans, Jess?
I think it's all loans.
Okay.
Except for DPA. The only one they don't do it on is DPA.
Okay,
Thanks,
except for
Matt.
the
Okay. But that's cool. So again, not reflected in the pricing currently at EPM. Change, Carrie Cole is now the GTG AE at EPM. We did have Todd. Carrie is one of their top reps and has been with Be My Neighbor. So now we have the same AE at both companies. So got to meet her. She's phenomenal. I don't know if she's reached out yet. I will be updating the GTG loan list with her contact information as well. So if you guys have questions, you can reach out to her. I'm sure she'll send out a blast with everybody on there. Another incentive. Windsor has a 25 basis point incentive that is built into pricing. Okay, so if you are pricing them out in Sifter, probably Arrive, when you go look at the LLPAs, you'll see the 25 basis point line item incentive on there.
Glenn,
Yes.
that incentive, I believe you have to have a $500,000 plus.
Oh, yes, that's right. I had that written down. It was 500,000 and I think a 680 FICO score.
Yes.
With thresholds for that, and that's purchase and refi. I assume it's jumbo if they're saying just 500,000 is the threshold for it. Cole, who those of you at GTG, we have Shelby Vinson as our AE. Cole is going to be taking over our account. That's the Be My Neighbor rep. They are already working it internally. I'm sure you could still reach out to Shelby at this point, but I need to put that on the list too. Is Cole? He gave me a call yesterday. So there's like AEs are a little bit in flux right now with all of this, you guys. So you can reach out to Cole or Shelby at this point. Kind Lending. I'm sure GTG, you guys saw Dirk Nelson. I don't know what the circumstances were, but he was let go as the rep from Kind. We now have Brooklyn Hibbs as our rep. Be My Neighbor is all very familiar. I talked to her on the phone. She's super sweet. Again, one of their top reps, but Kind Lending is now Brooklyn Hibbs. I think she did send out a email. Again, I will be updating our loan sheet to reflect proper contact info. UWM, Kevin is the rep now for Be My Neighbor. So GTG, you all know Kevin Hirschman. Okay. He's now the rep for Be My Neighbor. I'm sure Be My Neighbor folks, he's going to be reaching out to introduce himself. Yeah, just all sorts of AE movements all over the place. Before I go into other new lender stuff, any questions on AE movement or anything like that? No, pretty straightforward. You get a hold of. Yeah.
I was just going to say, we'll make sure that the Be My Neighbor lender list is updated too, to make sure all the right AEs are on there so you guys have access to it on the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question, Glenn.
Yes, sir.
As it relates to UWM, there's a lot of matrices that go on company-wide pricing incentives.
Mhm.
Are we combined yet for those incentives, or
No.
still separate?
No, we're still separate, but GTG is trending for Diamond again for first quarter.
For EPM, my estimate, Glenn, is we can probably get that. If that, or was that specifically on, did I miss that? Was that on?
They've got all these
UWM?
metrics that they're tracking for lock pull through and stuff to then give you 10-day free extensions, extra bips,
Right.
stuff like
Okay.
that. If there were an incentive like that with EPM, yeah, no doubt we could pull a couple strings. But as far as it goes right now at UWM, Tim, no, we're still on our own independently. Kevin's just handling both accounts from the standpoint, but we're still trending towards Diamond, which is good.
Hey, Glenn,
Okay.
for
Yes,
EPN, they one of the reasons they don't show up for our GTG as much is because they don't have a cap, right?
That's correct. Yeah, they don't have a cap. We brought that up to them when we're there. So oftentimes they'll just get washed out with our higher loan amounts, to the other lenders that we have capped at 14,000. That's the major reason. Plus, they also show up really heavy for when you get below sub 680, sub 660 FICO score, and again, our average is like 740. So we're not seeing them with big loan amounts and lower or in higher FICO scores. A good success story is Amy. I don't know. Yeah, Amy, you're on the call. We just closed a what was it? A $1,209,750. So the loan limit, 203K loan, and it actually went pretty smoothly. Mark, you processed it, right? This was at EPM.
Yeah, it went well overall.
So good stuff there.
Like not having the cap, because then you could utilize some of the, additional compensation to give back to the borrower toward closing costs. So
Yeah, that'd be good to bring up, Glenn, is that what we were able to do, not all lenders do it, but apparently EPM's not afraid to make money. They did the one-time lender paid comp adjustment. So
Oh, right.
wound up doing it for 1.75, I think, Amy. It was still way over our cap, but it gave more money back to the client. So
Makes sense.
that is a way, GTG, if you guys are looking, that is something that you can keep in the toolbox for EPM. Go look at them specifically and doing a one-time lender paid comp reduction.
or
Quick
you'll borrow
context-
paid.
Or go
quick
borrow.
context real quick on this.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
One-time comp reductions, discretionary based, in the same manner borrower paid is, has a potential for disparate impact in a lot of different circumstances. One-time circumstantial comp changes to LPC at best is a marginal gray area with regulation the way that it's currently written. Because of what we do behind the scenes with EPM, our input based off of what we've been counseled by compliance and different people that have worked in and around the CFPB, which still hasn't completed an audit of a broker for what it's worth. So meaning the feds never have yet, and they haven't given their final determination. That isn't how they do that. But likely it could be problematic. So what EPM's potential change would be built around certain programs or products for periods of time. That way it isn't discretionary outside of purpose. That's where you have to be very cautious if
That makes
you're
sense.
going to request to do something like this.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And also that I think it was the only lender that we had for 203K. So that played into it. But yeah, I could see that being, Amy, kind of like how you and I talked about yesterday, product specific. I mean, this is a very niche product, 203K, FHA, all these different things. But thank you for the context, Chris. That's really good to know. Yeah, it's not just a tool you can pull out anytime. Let's put it that way, Okay. New lenders. So some of our big lenders that we're using at GTG, we have actively gotten them signed up with Be My Neighbor with our reps. Those are going to include PennyMac, Ameris is just about to be finalized, and NewRez. So kind of, just as they have some lenders that we don't have access to yet, GTG, we're exposing them to like, hey, they were in our top 5. They've got great products, great reps, and we know how to use the systems. So starting to lay that groundwork on that side of it. Side note, which I just put this on this morning after a conversation, so we haven't even broached the subject yet of 11 mortgage. Jess, do you guys have 11? Okay, you do have 11. Cool. Something that our rep reached out and let us know was that they're currently not being priced out in Arrive. That will be turned on in the next couple of weeks. So just FYI, which is good, because we all still are mainly pricing out in Arrive, but we have to go to Sifter for those lenders that are not pricing on there. 11 will start showing up in Arrive. So just a good note there on that stuff. Okay. Anything you guys want to cover on lenders specifically before I move on to other company news?
Are there going to be additional lenders that GTG gets access to that are good ones that Be My Neighbor is using currently?
Yeah, but not, we're going to, unless it's critical, we're not going to be signing up with them to then just leave them. You know what I mean? As we move over to Be My Neighbor. If it's something where we go, how come we haven't looked at this lender before? Then yeah, obviously we'll sign up with them type stuff. But in other words, to answer your question, Amy, yes, when we go over there, there'll be more that we don't currently have access to. Okay. All right, everybody should have received all the meeting invites. Again, they're basically all voluntary at this point. Like, thank you everyone for showing up here to the all hands. This would be the one that I'd be like, hey, please show up here because we're passing a lot of info. Yes, it's going to be recorded. There'll be a breakdown, but still, it's good to be here to ask questions and stuff. On that point, the boiler room meeting that we had yesterday, it was good. It was our first one. We're still feeling it out. In a nutshell, again, this is a sales meeting. We're getting on there and people were putting their cameras on, putting themselves on mute, and we're calling. We're making those calls that you know you should be making with status updates or realtors you haven't talked to in a little while, database calls. It was good. You could see everybody kind of on there having a good time making the calls and stuff, and it's good to just be surrounded by other salespeople doing these activities. So I really enjoyed it. I look forward to next week. That's a weekly meeting at 9:30 Pacific on Tuesdays. So 11:30 Central. It was good stuff though. So I hope those of you that did show up, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And then I'm sure that we'll expand it a little bit more with maybe a theme that we go after or things like that during different times of the month. Otherwise, all the other meeting invites are pretty much out as far as all hands once a month, a marketing meeting once a month. GTG, you're very familiar with that cycle, like every 2 weeks, kind of a all hands, and then a marketing. And then Chris has a meeting that is filling in the gaps, again, optional on there, of AI tech and development that he wants to go over. Those of you that show up on there. So prompting lessons, AI training, things of that nature, which is going to be awesome as well. And then all the sub-department meetings have been sent out. If anybody has a question or they think they're missing a meeting, please reach out to Jessica, Mark, or myself, and we can get you guys tuned up to make sure that they're on there. But I know it's a lot of meetings on there. You don't have to, I want you there, but you don't have to go to all of them. Okay, this is the one you got to be at. All right, let's just make that clear. Okay. Eric, are you on here? No, he's probably at the gym. shooting
He is.
video.
He's
Okay.
trying to figure out how to mute
Oh, is he?
himself. He's trying. I'm watching him frantically look at his screen.
No, the problem is I have all these different Google windows and I don't know which meeting my Google browser is. So hi,
yeah.
there. Yes.
So Eric's our guinea pig. Some of you may have seen, I know he made a comment in one of the chats, and I got some people asking me, like, are we moving over? Like right now, what's happening? We moved Eric over to be my neighbor. He's going to be the Pathfinder, Vanguard, like whatever you want to call him, Trailblazer, getting over there specifically because, as you know, GTG knows, he's got clients all over the freaking place, and the access to the additional licenses are going to be crucial for him. So that's fantastic. So he's going through the process. He's got Jessica on his hip. She's going to be, you know, the onboarding specialist for us when we're going over there, but he's helping us find weaknesses in the onboarding process to make it smoother as we go over. We're already finding some on the lender side where it was like, hey, I can't see your loan at UWM. It's like, oh God. So we're fixing some of those things, but Eric, thank you for jumping on that grenade for everybody. So that's good stuff. Okay. Tech development update stuff. I was on a call. I had a call last week and I was on a call this morning. The call went over like 45 minutes, but it was really good. We've been actively talking with the Namche team. They are the development team about building out the CRM, starting to build out campaigns and whatnot, integrating it with Arrive, etc. So we're starting to, that process is fully got the ball rolling, which is awesome. We also have 2 other initiatives that we're working on with them, and I'll reach out to some of you guys can reach out to me. I'll reach out to you guys some specifically as well for an AI LOA companion. Okay. I know that the number one deal with it is going to be security. Okay. With our documents and whatnot, which they are fully addressing. That's going to be an initiative that's going to kick off in the coming weeks where we're going to need experienced LOs to, it's going to be bouncing it off of guidelines and stuff. But my biggest thing with it is going to be, just give me an accurate income number. Okay. I know we can do the rest from there. You have bank statements, credit run, all that. But if you have a really complicated income thing, I want this to almost be like a scenario desk for that aspect of it. It's going to be clunky. It's not going to be right at first. So I need experienced loan officers to put reps through it. We're just talking about building this today, so it's not ready yet, but that's a really cool initiative that's going to be, I think, an incredibly helpful tool rather than, hey, I got to go TBD this file at a underwriter to get an accurate number type piece. So the first step. So that was really promising to talk to them about that. Otherwise, they've got a couple other initiatives. I'll tap a couple of you guys for. They're trying to build a top of funnel chat bot type thing that right now it's basically like they just fed a 1003 in there. So it's like we would just tear it to shreds type stuff. But I need help with some experienced loan officers. I myself will get in there and kind of run it through some iterations and be like, why are you asking this question? That doesn't make sense, to help them build that out. Again, this is to capture leads up front of people trying to look for what they can qualify for type stuff. So just another initiative. Please reach out to me if you're interested in running that through its paces. I'd love some help with that as well. But some good stuff on those fronts. Specifically, I'm very excited about the secure portal for us to be able to upload docs and have income calculated. I think this will be a critical tool moving forward. It's always been a sore spot for us, for everybody. In that same vein, kind of with the meetings and the tech stuff, next, what is it? On the 2nd, April 2nd, Wednesday, I resent out a new invitation. That's that standing marketing / tech tip meeting, right? GTG, we always had like a marketing meeting once a month. We would do a refresher on whatever. If we could have a theme, we would have a theme. In this case, this one, we're going to have VJ come in, who is the chief crypto officer / chief technology officer, who I was on the call with Namche with this morning. He kind of walked me through some of the crypto blockchain, kind of what they're thinking about doing with Realpha. And I just found it very interesting. And I know that a lot of us are all in the same bucket from the standpoint of like, we've all heard the words blockchain, crypto. A lot of us associate crypto. You're like, so a casino? Like, what is this? Like, is this for criminals on the black market? Like, he teaches this stuff at Columbia. So it's something where it's like, hey, can you come in and just give us a 101 course? Totally optional, but I would love it if you guys showed up. I'm really interested in learning about it because it's just going to give a little bit more context of like, where is technology going with all this stuff? So that's a great one to kick off our marketing tech meetings. That's going to be awesome. I hope you guys can make it to that.
Hey, Glenn, are you able to give us a sneak preview about that? Like, is he talking about like, hooking up title companies to some sort of like?
Yeah, he was talking about like MLS and a couple of things. But I mean, again, I had a overarching overview. I was like, this is really interesting. Can you come and talk to everybody that wants to learn about this? He's like, absolutely. So it was something where we're all going to be learning together. Because again, I have a Coinbase account. That's about as far as I know with crypto. Okay. It's like, so something where we know we need to dabble in it, but it's like, okay, what is the actual mechanics and how this is going to change financial industries and documenting of things and whatnot. So he'll be open to take questions, of course, as well. Okay. Other news, help desk and anonymous feedback box. I forgot if I sent this over to you, Jessica. Is it okay? GTG, you already know how to use our help desk, right? It's through our form wizard, right? We've got a new one now that there's 6 people on it instead of 3. All right. There's also a anonymous feedback box that it does not record your email. So Amy, very much to your delight, how you've always said, why are you asking me for my email if it says it's recording my email right here? Now you do need to put your email in on those other forms because it is no longer automatically recording your email. So it is anonymous. We have tested it out. We're not just pulling your leg. Please let us know thoughts on stuff. But that is set up so that it's kind of a suggestion box type deal. Jessica, have I given you that link?
Yeah, you emailed it out in the Atlanta update a couple weeks ago, and then also in the description of the tech support chat. If you click on the description, is the link to that Form Wizard too, if they click on the
Just to,
description.
that's just to the Form Wizard, right? Not to the
That's
help
the Form
desk
Wizard
ticket.
itself. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody that doesn't know, it's a Google form. We call it the Form Wizard. You go in there, there's a lot of different options. Some of them are going to be very foreign to, Be My Neighbor at this point. I labeled them like what is appropriate for the specific companies. Like there's still reimbursement requests and stuff like that. That's GTG at this point. Okay, there's stuff that says BMN plus GTG, like the help desk and the anonymous feedback. The point is that we house them all in one form so that you can go there. This is also where I'm sure in the future, and Mark will have to say so on this, we put in change of circumstance requests to the processing department, things like that, which we already use it for that stuff. But yeah, that link is in there. Again, I'll have it in the recap email as well. Travis Kelsey. Dude's too old. Help desk. Link. Okay, cool. Sergio, did you want to talk into payroll changes and updates? You had a little snippet on the itinerary here.
Yeah, so well, mostly just a quick intro. So because I haven't met anyone from BMN side other than the executive team at this point. So right, my name's Sergio. I do the payroll and finances for GTG currently. I'm going to be taking that off of Nathan's plate in the near future so that he can go on to hopefully bigger and better things within our company. So I just want to put a face to a name and let you know that my biggest priority is to make sure everyone keeps getting paid on time. It's my biggest pet peeve when that doesn't happen, and it's only happened a couple times in multiple years here at GTG with me.
What are you talking about? We get paid on what?
See, you don't even have an example off the top of your head. Good. All right. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, please let us know. As we look to merge the two companies, there are going to be some changes on both sides to try and get one streamlined payroll process. Because trying to do two different processes is going to make what little hair I still have on my head fall out.
But don't let that stress you out too much, right, Sergio? Because at the end of the day, a lot more important stuff is changing. Like you're going to have to understand and decide that there's something called chili and there's something called chili with beans, and both of them are glorious, but they're two different things. But back to the financial side of how difficult this is going to be in the merger.
Hey, those
We'll get
are
to the important stuff
things,
later.
actually. Chili, that sounds good. Damn. All right. Anyway, right. So we'll be keeping you guys updated with those as we go along. If you guys have any questions on specifics or just in general, feel free to reach out to me. I have a BMN email now as well. So I think Google has it where if you just start typing my name, it should hopefully bring that up, and you guys can reach out. So I look forward to working with you guys going forward. And that's all I got. Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks. Cool. All right, Mark, the affectionately what we call the Wizard of Ops. I'm going to turn this over. You got a couple. I know you and Jessica have got a couple updates that you've been working hard with the processors and loan partners and pipeline managers on.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Mark Wilson as operations manager at GTG Financial, and will be at Be My Neighbor as well. Kind of working in both pools right now. And so far for Be My Neighbor, it's mostly a focus on processing. So working with pipeline managers and processors, like Glenn said. We are going through a few updates. Sorry, getting over a little cold here. We are going through a few updates a little bit. It's not going to be a lot of changes from the sales side. But there's going to be a few. Those are going to be coming out in some trainings that Jessica's going to be sending you guys with a few videos and different things that'll be available on the internet there. But it's going to come with a little bit of, I guess we're empowering the pipeline managers to be able to kick back files to you guys a little bit, just for missing information, missing documents, missing, incomplete files, that kind of stuff, because we're trying to streamline this the best we can. That way, when we start ramping up, and the overall picture here is growth and getting more loans in and all that kind of stuff, that we will be doing it as efficiently as possible. GTG for you guys, we actually already kind of enacted these over the last couple weeks. So when you guys get over to Be My Neighbor, it's going to be the same exact kind of thing. So it won't be there won't be a learning curve or anything like that.
Have an accurate 1003. Try that.
What's that, Glenn?
Have an accurate 1003. But usually,
when it boils down to it, yes, have an
Yeah.
accurate 1003, and the rest of the process will go smoothly. Something else that we are working on right now, and give a shout out to AOB for helping put together all the state specific packages, is that we are going to have state specific disclosures that are going to be going out at the time that we are either sending disclosures, depending on the lender, or requesting disclosures, again, depending on the lender. Small little state specific package, depending on where your loan is, that the pipeline managers will be sending out. So we have those just about finished. Excuse me. Working out just a few other, there are some states that have this and some states that have that. So we are just about finalized on that one. But that is an immediate change that you guys will see probably in the next few days.
and those will be sent out directly via Arrive, right?
Yes, they'll be sending out
Very good.
as a client need. through
So
the
basically the same stuff we were sending out borrowers auths or in a state specific things, small package directly to the borrower.
Correct.
For audit purposes.
Yep, and all dated within 3 days of the application date.
Easy. Okay. So, and we know from experience that the biggest hurdle with that is just that borrowers, I don't know how many times you tell them, you go, hey, you haven't signed the disclosures. They go, no, I signed them. You go, not my 3. The 196 pages that got sent out by the lender. Those are the disclosures that I need you to sign. So we're well aware of that, but this is a requirement for state-specific disclosures that get called out in examinations and things like that, all being handled on the operational side. So no major weight on the sales side. So awesome. Anything else for ops?
We are still just working on a few other things, but anytime that we come up with a change, a training will go out pretty immediately, and it shouldn't be any too much of a monumental change, at least from the sales side. You're not going to see too much of a difference. Internally, from the ops side, we'll go through the trainings and we'll make sure we get through everything. But again, there shouldn't be too many monumental changes.
Awesome. Cool.
Question.
Shoot.
In terms of operation, when we're combined, any tools that are changing? We're still going to use Arrive. Any other major tools that are going to change?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I think it's
not
all the
really.
same.
And Tim, I mean, you'll be working with Joanna, so I know you guys have kind of the way you guys do things, which is pretty mirrored to how we do it through corporate processing. But no, we're going to be using Arrive for, I mean, anything and everything that we can.
Great.
There was a
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think if there was any other major shifts. We had already made that big shift. Yeah.
Right.
So
you're not building.
okay, perfect. I want to turn it over to Chris for a little bit. Give him his corner, the CEO corner here, to kind of go over some stuff, and then we'll wrap up with some lighter side things, and then just open commentary.
Awesome. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for everyone for being here. Some of y'all I know, some of you I've met out at EPM for the first time, and some of y'all, this may be the actual very first time that you've ever seen me or even heard about me. And I can't be sure, but what I can be certain of is this, the little CEO corner. What I see a CEO's job as, what I see my job as, I think should be incredibly important to y'all, because ultimately it determines a lot of what happens, right? And how we do things and what changes. My job as a CEO from whatever size entity I've ever been a part of has really been fairly simple. That is to, one, take care of the people. We can't do anything if we don't take care of the people. And there's no perfect way to do anything. That includes taking care of the people. 2, make sure the company is able to execute the mission. And those 2 things have to happen simultaneously at all times. It was very similar for me in the Marine Corps. Luckily here, failing in battle doesn't mean that I never get to see one of y'all ever again. Only to say, there's complex stuff, there's hard stuff, there's going to be stressful stuff as we integrate and merge or create and build new systems, meet new people. But at the end of the day, we're all here for a united purpose, and that's because we enjoy serving a consumer that's buying a home, because we believe one home is a big deal to them. Could be the biggest deal, the most impactful thing, not only for finances, but for family. And so my job is very simple. One, to make sure that we're capable of executing the mission, to make sure that things aren't rolling downhill, stopping each and every one of y'all from being able to execute your function on the team. Two, to make sure the future is provided for. Three, to make sure the consumer is who we're focused on, right? It's not terribly complex for me. And that's good, because as many of the people that know me will tell you, I'm not great at a lot of things. But I ask a lot of questions, and I open the doors for input each and every time someone has an opinion or a thought that might benefit what we're doing. And I extend that to everyone here. You'll all have access to my cell phone number that hasn't changed since I was 15. The only number I've ever had in my life, and I ain't changing it. You'll have access to my email. Mallory's my little sister. If you really want to know about me since I was, 8, 9 years old, she'll tell you. She won't hold back. I don't, there is a thing, there's a reality of there are business things and there are personal things. My failures as a CEO are the people side of it is where it's always been personal for me. And it's where I'm not in charge of certain decisions, nor should CEOs be in certain situations either, or many, right? But I do care about that. And it's important for y'all to understand that, because I'm going to be reaching out to you and speaking about different goals that you have. When we were all out at EPM, we all wrote down 10 different goals. Some of them were personal, some of them were business, some of them were all personal, some of them were all business. I want to know what y'all's goals are, the ones that you've self-determined, that you think are most important to say, if I have to hit 10 goals this year, here's what they are. And I want to spend each time with y'all at least, or each time with each of y'all at least once a quarter discussing them. There's a lot of y'all. And so Glenn and I have already been working through the mechanics of what that might look like. And I certainly don't want to be intrusive. So your goals don't have to be too personal or whatever else. But I need you to know that my goal is to see you accomplish your goals as fast as you can, as quickly as you can, because there are other bigger goals you probably have on the backside of those. And my job is to make sure that you see those. The company sees those. The consumers we serve see those. So integrating of a process is always kind of a fun thing, right? Y'all have been through, I understand, some different challenging times with mergers or changes. And likely with y'all's tenure in the industry, looking at you, Elise, you've been through a lot of different things that are complex and have given you a certain bit of understanding. No transitions ever. Sorry, Elise, you're on mute, but if you have something to say here after I pull a string like that, please certainly step in. There's always challenges. With everything, it could be an obstacle or an opportunity. Honestly, it's that simple. That's the whole cliche behind silver linings. There's a duality in everything, right? Hate is the absence of love. Darkness, the absence of light, right? Money, debt, same thing. So as we go through all of these things, personnel, systems, processes, know this, nothing's ever permanent. We're trying to take the best of both of what we had as a company and what y'all have as a company, integrate all of those good things perfectly into a system that immediately we're working to change and build so that tomorrow we can have what we might need then. And we expect that to be the general process, certainly throughout the rest of this year, resolving in a custom-built integration that's completely what we want, even if there are third-party overlay pieces internalized with it. But so that at the end of the day, what you do can be empowered differently across all of our platforms and systems, how you're informed, kept aware, how you're held accountable, and shown what next step is, right? All the things that we all want and seek to find and choose, but specific, intelligibly specific to your portfolio, to your tasks, to your job descriptions. AI is going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of fear around it. I'm going to tell you what everybody's first fear is going to be when you finally see the org chart. The org chart for AI is a shadow position of every position in our company. When I say our company, from the top to the bottom, y'all, GTG to Be My Neighbor, Glenn is the XO of Be My Neighbor. He's not the XO of GTG, and I'm the CEO of Be My Neighbor. We're one team, one fight on everything. But with the AI opportunity coming in, and everything that we're doing to integrate these pieces, it's going to change. Your opinions are going to matter. How you share and report those up are going to matter. But more than anything, if we don't come together kind of as one team, which is what I wanted as many out at EPM to maybe help excite, all of it's going to be clunky and rough and not very much fun. I want to have fun. Problems aren't problems for me. I like solving problems. As a CEO, typically the types of problems I get to solve are the nastiest ones that either one, no one else can, or two, no one else works on, right? Or three, just talking about that problem is taboo at some point and you're fixing to have rocks thrown at you, right? Just to say, ugly problems don't scare me, especially if they're your ugly problems. I like solving them, and I want y'all to as well. I want us to come together, work together, and figure out how to integrate the best of both things that we have so that we can build the thing that doesn't exist yet. With AI where it is today, mortgage companies that exist and how they function 2 and 3 years from now do not exist today, not even in perfect theory. Not one. AI is a more significant change to business than the internet. Likely more significant than the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution everyone feared, machines are replacing us. You're going to get rid of all the workers. Unemployment went down, wages went up. Internet, same thing. Housing crisis, Dodd-Frank, same thing. We're still winning. We're still doing good. When you see the org chart that reflects perfectly the org chart of us, the inclination is to think, oh my God, AI is going to replace us. That's humanity's problem for the next 10 years with AI. And honestly, probably longer than that. But the reality is this. AI is a reflection of our thought. It's an extension of our IQ. It's incapable of our EQ in a reality perceptive to humans. EQ is established in your uniqueness, your identity, your nature, your character, the things that you believe are true, that everything you do shows evidence of it. That's the important part that keeps human relative, regardless of how capable AI and automation and tech and all these things are. If tech and AI is perfectly capable, raise your hand in here right now if you perfectly trust AI to make a decision for you and help you to make a decision without a human expert giving you an opinion at least once. Not a hand up, huh? Weird. It's almost like human adoption is going to be the limiting factor and not AI and technological capability. Interface will be a big deal to that as well. But all of this is important because when you see these things, understand that the LOA identity is going to have a job to understand each and every one of your identities individually, how you pattern thought, how you pattern word choice, what you will say, what you will never say, so that when it helps you to build out your messages, they're authentic to you, reflective of you, organized a little bit better maybe than your IQ alone allows, if you're like me. I didn't start a clock, Glenn, but I'm getting ready to wrap up. So I don't know, you said 10 to 15. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. This is good stuff.
Okay. I hope it's helpful. But more than anything, if you're kind of wondering what to walk away from this call, if there can only be one thing I want you to walk away from, very simply, and it's going to be something that you probably won't believe for a long time, but it's this. I care about every one of you here more than you know. I truly believe what we have to do isn't capable without everybody here and a lot of people that aren't here yet. And I don't know how to quit. I don't know how not to care. I don't know how not to be held accountable. I'm the CEO leadership position, and I'm probably the person in the room here that thinks they're the least qualified for the title that they hold at all points. I'm the most skeptically natured person, especially at self, and I have tons of people I keep around me to ensure that my limits aren't a problem for those that it can't be a problem for. And that includes y'all. And that's the only reason that I think that I will remotely be decent at this job for you, why you might respect me and the work that I want to do for you and for our consumers and what we have in front of us. And each and every one of you, I respect your ability, your liberty, your capacity to decide what you do and what you don't do, how you integrate and how you don't integrate, the layers you dig into people and where you don't go. But I got layers and I'm willing to go there. I'm open and visible about everything. I've got a lot of different things I'll share and talk about if they're significant to you. I never want to waste your time. I'm always a little long-winded, but I appreciate y'all. I'm excited more than any time I've ever built or been a part of building a business. I'm excited right now because the one true thing I've learned in all the businesses I've founded, a person doesn't build a business, and a good idea alone isn't a business. Amazing businesses get built with amazing people when they unite behind a really good idea. I think we have a great idea. I think we have a unique approach, and I think we have the best group of people I've had to work with in mortgage, certainly, in a long time. And the only group Bev would say stacks up better than this, like one, I was in the Marine Corps for a long time. Two, that FVA is a pretty tight-knit group of club toters, and I love those guys too. They're much like these, but I'm excited to be here, not because it's a job. I could do a lot of things. I'm excited to be here because I think what we do matters to someone out there. That it is singularly the biggest simple thing that could change in their life that would change everything from that moment forward. I believe that. And that's why I'm in housing. So I'm in mortgages still. So I didn't just sell out and roll on into cattle or something else. So I hope that's true in some part to you, or I hope you can find something that you find joy or happiness in what you're doing in the task. And I'm certainly excited to get to know each and every one of you. Thank y'all for listening to me, at least for these few minutes.
Thanks, Chris. That's awesome. No, excellent message. No, very good. Yeah, I think we all are on that same page of we're doing this to help people, you know. So, and we've all had those deals where it's like, okay, that's why we do this. So we want to make that more and more a reality. So awesome. All right. Last piece I want to roll into. Number one, we missed March Madness. That's my bad. Tournament started like yesterday, I think. So next year we'll do brackets. My bad. Fantasy sports, specifically fantasy football. We have a league. Last year, Amy embarrassed Megan in the championship. She basically unraveled. Pretty awesome. We need more people. It was a 6-man league. It was an embarrassment of riches on everybody's rosters. We want to expand it to 10, 12, 14 people. Reach out to me if you're interested. We have plenty of time. Draft hasn't even happened yet for the actual NFL. A lot of fun, a lot of shit talking and good times there. What are the punishments? The winner had to buy tacos for everybody else, which, to Amy's point, she actually went negative on her winnings and buy-in. So it's kind of a scarlet letter that you wear there. That's basically all I've got for the lighter side of stuff right now. We like to have good times. We also will do side bets on when new loan limits will come out, things like that, track when they've historically come out, things of that nature. But anyways, I wanted to open it up. Questions. We have about 10 minutes left. Obviously, you guys could reach out individually if you want to as well, so you're not on here with everybody. But I wanted to open up the forum, essentially. What's up, Jess?
I had 9 people vote on our poll.
Oh,
Chat.
for the team chat name.
Large time about the team name, and then nobody voted. So,
well, what's the winner? Let's just call it.
The winner is the Mortgage Masters chat. Is what it came
Okay,
down to.
I didn't vote for that, but all right, I'll take it. Mortgage Masters.
So, pretty rough, guys. I'm pretty disappointed in your voting skills out there.
Cool.
I mean, you really didn't come out with that
Have you read
P.
that?
Diddy vote or die campaign or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I should have been campaigning a little harder because that's definitely not the one I was voting for either.
So excellent. But no, what are the topics, questions do you guys have that you want to go over in the last few minutes that we have here? Again, I do appreciate y'all showing up to this meeting for sure.
Hey, if you look really closely, I got about 3 days worth of growth here, competing against some of the people on this call.
Oh, good.
What do you think? Huh?
Yeah.
I'm
Keep
trying
going.
to look closely. I'm not for sure. I mean, I've got 2015 vision too, and I'm not. That's not discouragement. I think I need a better camera here, Nathan. Because
And he just trimmed
that
that
deserves to be
thing too. That
appreciated.
thing was even longer.
I'll do better. Hang tight.
Awesome. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, let me check the comments real quick. Make sure I'm not missing somebody that didn't want to turn on their. No, I think we're good. Again, doors always open. Please come and ask us any questions if you have any. I appreciate everybody for showing up on this. A lot of information. We'll send out a recap email, links to everybody's contact information, etc. So, yeah. But thank you guys so much. What is Wednesday? Oh, what's up? What's up, Eric?
So not everybody showed up to Atlanta, and the question was asked kind of like what the vision of the company is. So I'm sure people heard that Redfin was acquired by Rocket. So I imagine like Rocket's going to have like all of your accounts linked, your income, your credit score. It's going to be linked to Redfin. So you can essentially just like add house to cart. That's what it sounds like it's going to happen. So I just want to know like what our vision is, like what the goal is. I understand that it's like Amazon for home buying, but maybe a little bit more specific.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And I also just realized that Elise's picture was frozen for a while there. I thought she was just every time I looked by smiling at something, and maybe it's just frozen for me. But anyway, the overall vision, like what you see Rocket doing, is happening because what they tried before they got fined for, if you recall. They tried to do this without having to acquire and spend the money and just bring it in through subsidy and need. That didn't work out. So they pivoted to buy a platform. We've been working on buying a platform for months and are in the process of scaling and building differently. It's still in that line.
For real estate, you're saying?
Yes, for the real estate side, the platform for real estate, to ultimately tie those things into a holistically central network. And some of the lines that Rocket has and other companies have on it and capital they have to expend on it are going to create model growth and pushing really rapidly and quickly. But the challenge is that the technology is changing so rapidly, and foundationally, whatever you build needs to be connected from the bottom across all of these things, not from the top down to them, for it to truly be empowered. We're building from the bottom up as we kind of move forward through all of these things. So what you're seeing Rocket doing, honestly, our plan's not so different. We've been working on executing it now for a while. I've been speaking to them about it since June, actually June of last year, right? On what it might look like. And in a lot of other places that Rocket hasn't discussed right now, even if they're thinking there yet. And I would say those other places are, from a practical application standpoint, every bit of significant, if not more, for where we're at than just one thing with real estate relationships and lead opportunity, because that's really what it's about. Rocket's play right now isn't for Redfin to go towards retail. It's going to be used in Rocket Pro with wholesale. And they've already been beta testing a system where they're giving out leads to their preferred people so that they can call on them. UWM has stuff like this, I'm sure, similar to, I've heard plenty of stuff. I've just never been on quite the inside there to have access to some of those things. But that said, what we're creating effectively does the same thing without force, without requirement, in a way that's every bit as competitive, just building from the bottom up. So the challenge is where we're at and what we see today, and the fact that the growth and the change isn't happening like this. It's not linear. AI was like this 6 months ago. Now it's started to turn like this. And it's very close to going near vertical. And that all rests around agentic AI and capability on quantum chips. But the leaps and bounds that have been made in the last 6 weeks I've been engaged with it are changing so quickly. My point is, what exists 3 years from now doesn't exist today. The technology, the tool sets, all of those things, none of them do. So creating one holistic platform, Eric, for users of any type to exist and utilize to have shared value across a whole host of network solutions in a way that creates more competitive, more optional variety for consumers is what we're after and what we're trying to build. The challenge is doing it anything direct to consumer and not having to build a call center. So the idea behind what we have with a relational approach to structuring people that are great with relationships, teams with different capacities of dialing and calling, AI with different functional support of warming and lining out and preparing the human that calls, and even agents supporting from the other side developmental processes, so that each and every time a human engages a new consumer, it's as warm and informed and as needed as possible, right? As warm as it can be. That's the goal. There's just a lot to connect. We have mortgage, title, they have insurance stood up, it's not scaled. Real estate in one state, they're working on several right now. It'll be rolled out incrementally. And several other things in the acquisition pipeline at various stages that are non-public, and I can't even discuss here because that would make a potential problem if any of y'all wanted to purchase stock from Alpha stock openly. You can as of now. You're not shared to any privy non-public information, right? But some of those things we can't share. But as far as how it might look like, what Rocket, Redfin, Godzilla is going to be doing something and announcing something within 6 months. All of these platforms, big, small. You just saw Berkshire Hathaway. Here's a unique one. Everyone's like, oh no, Warren Buffett's getting out of housing. He's selling Berkshire Hathaway. No, he's not. He's selling a legacy business system that really served the greater function of providing him a means to manage that many pieces of real estate, because you have to do it through real estate brokerage, especially across different state guidelines.
You're talking about with Compass.
Yes, with Compass's acquisition and working in acquisition of Berkshire Hathaway.
Which they
He's not
deny.
selling the houses.
Which you're like, no.
He's not selling the houses. He's selling the company, the model. That's what he's doing. He's selling the model. So that's what you're going to see across the industry now for the next 12, 18, 36 months are these types of mergers as people begin to realize it. Like, oh no, this is a bigger change than I thought. And it's going to happen in stages and phases for the next 5 years until everything's changed so much. Any of y'all have grandparents that never broke away from, like, it was all they could do to get on a cell phone, and then they never moved past the touch tone, much less the internet or any of those things. And now they're getting calls from any number of people, and every one of them are capable of scamming them out of literally anything and everything, it seems like, because they're just so out of touch with technology and reality and what's common and what's normal. They've become detached. That's going to continue to happen in this industry. And I think within 3 years, you know, if there are any legacy systems around, they're exceptionally niche, one-off, non-scaled varieties, because cost is going to be compelled downwardly too fast and too hard for legacy systems to compete. That's why AI has to begin to do the work that 4 of you takes. That way it takes 1 of you and 1 AI every time we have to scale again. We have to retrain less people. The tasks that you oversee and decide on as the human role in that hierarchy will be the ones that the human needs to be deciding and engaging on, not the ones that can be done automatically with agents. So I don't know if that covered enough, Eric. I'm sure that you, like, for you, knowing how your mind works, I could probably talk about the specific, without telling you about some of the behind the scenes things too. You're not going to have rest on that totally. I will share that with you. I wouldn't personally. But no, my goal is this, and our goal is this, to grow and scale a large platform that changes completely the concept of how consumers buy, own, and sell in real estate in every piece in between, in a networked way that creates more value, more ease of use, and more human-human connectivity than is possible now around the primary key focal points that they should be engaging on, right? It's to empower, to make you more capable. But I promise you, for the next 10 years, humanity is largely going to break into 2 parts. Those that think AI helps them and makes them more capable, and those of them that distrust it and think it's the enemy that's going to kill us all. Any of you seen The Matrix? There's like any number of movies follow the same parallel. But the reality is, it's an IQ that is capable of whatever you will try to use it for right now, even if it's arguing with your wife about something.
Cool.
I did not even call you out. Quit reacting. You're giving yourself away. I was actually talking about myself in that moment, but whatever. Take some flack with me there, big guy. You're always good for some cover concealment, both.
Okay.
We all knew.
We're basically at time. I'm going to shut down the recording. Everybody, thank you so much for showing up. Again, I'll have a recap email out. Links to, like I said, links to stuff. I'll put the org chart in there, all sorts of fun stuff. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the Mortgage Masters chat. Right, it's already renamed. Look at that. And thank you guys. Talk to you soon.